Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Lessons, Topics, and Questions with your artist, Peter Bell. I hope everyone's doing all right. Everything has been really well on my end, thanks to the grace of God. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to get into our topic for today, and that topic is New York City, which is currently my hometown, and I have a lot of family and friends that still live and work in New York still to this day. And the questions that are going to go along with it. There's three of them that I have. So I'm going to read the first one for you. And of course, some is related to the arts, like we always talk about on here, and some is not, but we're going to throw it all together, so we're going to have a little fun over here. So I'm going to read to you the three questions. Okay, here we go. Has New York City gotten better or worse for artists? Question number 2. Is New York City still considered the art capital of the world? And number 3. Are artists starting to flee New York due to the rise of high crime and unaffordable living? Well, I think I'm going to answer question number 3 first. Yes, I have seen New York City start to transform, and it's not for the better, it's for the worse. And it almost reminds me, now, I did not live through this, but I have seen pictures and videos and asked family members who were alive at the time what New York was like back in the quote good old days. And that would be like the 1970s all the way to the early 90s. Now, at that time, New York City was like the wild, wild west. There was high crime, especially where, as far as violent crime was concerned, murder was up, rape was up, drug dealing was up, burglaries were up, the whole nine yards. The best we could describe it was Fear City. And for some of you, for a majority of those that were living in New York at the time, it was almost like the Amityville horror, where you would have only one choice, and that would be to get out. Now, years later, we go into the mid 1990s. New York City starts to see a decline in crime due to the crackdown of panhandlers, quality of life crimes, where they could escalate into larger things, and some parts of the decline in crime were with the tools that we were using, that the city was using at the time, proved to be very effective. Some parts of it worked and some parts of it did not work. Where as far as the success was concerned, where it declined, men and women from all walks of life were starting to come back to New York. Tourism had increased in New York. Artists were, the art was expanding in New York. And where as far as sales for artists within the city were starting to go up at that time. And it seemed that the quality of life really improved really well. Now to where we are right now, in 2026, where we have elected the first Islamic mayor of New York City, who I think is the most despicable, low-life huckster. Let me put it this way. He uses a skill called hucksterism, and he sold what he was campaigning on, and the voters that voted for this guy actually bought it. And he has fulfilled none of what he said he would do when he would become mayor. It was just a complete failure. But I don't blame him for the high rise in crime and for the high cost of living. That all started long before he got there. And it goes back to his two predecessors, where it all went up underneath the both of them. But do I think things are going to get better for us artists? I really can't say for sure, but I hope only time will tell, ladies and gentlemen, if things will get better for myself and for my fellow colleagues out there who are looking to make a living as artists in New York City, where we can sell our art constantly without having any fear of being attacked by somebody on the street if you're selling on the street, or if you just happen to have some sort of individual vandalize your shop that you're selling your artwork in. These are the things that are most concerning for myself and my fellow artists, and of course other important topics as well too. Now, I hope that answers your question for the third one that I said I would talk about. Do I believe New York City is still the art capital of the world? Yes, I do, and I'm going to tell you why. Because for the longest time possible, artists have been coming over here to make a name for themselves, to sell off their art, and even if they're lucky, they can have their painting or any type of piece that they're marketing be accepted to go on exhibition in a museum where it will be there permanently. And I believe that despite everything that's happening in New York right now, is that artists will still continue to come to New York to make a name for themselves and draw in more customers and more viewers to excel in what they are selling and making a good name for themselves. And finally, the other question is are artists starting to flee New York because of because of unaffordable rents? I can tell you this though. It's New York City. It's very hard to make a living now, especially in this day and age, because the rent is just way too sky high. Even artists, group artists who want to form their own art chain are having to rent spaces, and they can just barely make it. And I can tell you this though, I would like to see a lot of things improved in New York City so it could make life easy, not just for us struggling artists, but for everybody that holds a different type of job title so that they can afford to buy their groceries, pay their rent, and drive the type of cars that they want to drive, and even get the kind of good jobs that could actually help pay their bills and other necessities as well too, to make a living in New York City. Now, I hope that I hope that I've answered your questions to the best of my ability. Now, what's the lesson that we can learn from all of this? I think the lesson is that maybe if at first you don't succeed in some areas, you can try and try again. And of course, that is one of the only things that we can do, is keep on trying until something good happens. All it takes is that one moment for somebody to see that we actually have something good going for us, and that could lead to a lot of open doors. So I hope that you've enjoyed lessons, topics, and questions, the topic of New York City for this video. And remember, if you have any other questions that or topics you'd like me to discuss, just reach out to me at Art of Peter Bell, and I'll discuss it on the next video. All right, everybody. Thank you for now.